Lagos Talks
91.3.
News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has commissioned a number of multi-billion naira projects executed by the Katsina state government under the leadership of Governor Aminu Masari in the last 7.5 years. The projects executed and commissioned by the president yesterday include 2 of the 3 multi-billion naira underpass bridges located at Kofa Kaura and Kofa Kwaya areas, remodeled Katsina General Hospital, new Katsina Revenue House, rehabilitated Katsina Water Supply Booster Station, amongst others. President Buhari is also expected to commission several other projects today, Friday. The Minister of Interior, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, has disclosed that the Nigerian Immigration Service, the NIS, issued over 1.7 million passport booklets in 2022, citing the high demands of passports is due to massive immigration of Nigerians from the country in search of greener pastures to other countries. The minister, who made the disclosure yesterday during the State House media briefing at Presidential Villa Abuja, spoke on the passports.
By December 31st last year, we produced 1.7 million passports. In the annals of Nigeria, that has not happened. And those who say, booklet, as I'm talking to you, we have over 200,000 booklets in our store. So we have enough booklets. We are not denying the fact that there are challenges, there are human-induced challenges. It's not for the reasons that people claim glibly that we are challenged. And even at that, if you look at the number of applications vis-a-vis the passports produced, we are over 80% in performance. But then we take it as given that we produced 1.7 million passports last year.
Our correspondent Raliat Adenakan reports that the permanent secretary of the ministry, Dr. Shuaib Belgore, revealed that a total of 159 Nigerians renounced their citizenship in 2022 alone, while 309 registered to renounce their citizenship between 2006 to 2021.
However, going further, the Advisory Committee on Nigerian Citizenship will sit on the 7th of February to consider another 350 applications for naturalization, after which the successful applications will be sent to Mr. President in Council for approval. Those Nigerians who renounce their citizenship, so far we have registered a total of 309. Between 2006 and 2021, 150 Nigerians renounced their citizenship. In 2022 alone, 159 Nigerians renounced their citizenship.
The Minister of Interior, while commenting on the incessant jailbreaks across the country, declared that the prison attacks is seasonal, as he warned that terrorists who dare to attack correctional facilities again in any part of the country will not live to tell the story. The federal government has said it will start a door-to-door campaign on sensitizing the electorate and voters on early warning signs on violence-free elections, insisting that election is not a do-or-die matter. The National Coordinator and Chief Executive of the African Union Development Agency, Princess Gloria Akobudu, who was represented by Hakeem Akonde, Head of Planning Research Statistics of the agency, made the disclosure yesterday at an evaluation of the first 10-year implementation plan and the formulation of the successor plan. According to him, advocacy is necessary as the election is now becoming an issue-based campaign where citizens vote for who they deem fit.
Part of the blueprint of the framework, let me start from election, is what we call early warning signs. And what are these early warning signs? It's about silencing the gun, sensitizing people, advocacy on violence-free election, to let the people know that you don't have to die for election. It's not a do-or-die matter. We will be kickstarting by, say, maybe February 2nd, before the election, across the nation, to sensitize all electorates and voters.
Ahead of the upcoming general election, the military high command has said the armed forces of Nigeria will be on standby to clear out any unwanted acts during and after the general polls. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Musa Damadami, who made the disclosure yesterday while reviewing the progress of military operations across the country in Abuja, said there is no cause for concern.
The armed forces of Nigeria will continue to remain apolitical in the conduct of elections.
And professionally speaking, the police is the lead agency as far as election matters is concerned in Nigeria. They are the ones who have the mandate. We and the armed forces of Nigeria and other security agencies will continue to play a supportive role to them. We are on standby. The code of conduct for the elections and the rule of engagement has been distributed to our troops, and we can assure you that any unwanted act during the election will be dealt with decisively. There's no question about that.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, at plenary yesterday threatened a warrant of arrest on the Central Bank Governor, Emefiele, over his refusal to honor invitation to brief members on the current cash swap policy. The Speaker, who described the actions of the CBN Governor and his bank directors as a blatant disregard and an insult to the Nigerian people and the Parliament, said he will not hesitate to issue a warrant of arrest on the CBN Governor and his officers.
Therefore, if by the end of today there is further disregard to the summons of this House, I will, without hesitation and pursuant to the authority conferred by Section 89(1)(d) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Order 1921 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives, not hesitate to issue a warrant to the Inspector General of the Nigerian Police to compel the attendance of the CBN and or managing directors who fail, refuse, or neglect to respond to the summons by the House.
Our correspondent Nathan Williams reports that the House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila, who has insisted that commercial banks are obliged to continue to receive phased-out notes until after 5 months of the change in the design, reacted to the failure of the widespread scarcity of the new notes to Nigerians.
The Central Bank Act under Section 20 allows the Central Bank to change the legal tender, but it also says that after the expiration date, such Naira notes changed will no longer be legal tender. But it says that even 5 months after, 3 months after, 2 months after, even in June, any old note presented to the bank shall be redeemed by the bank. That point needs to be made to the central bank and to the public. It has not been made.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Labour Congress, the NLC, has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to extend its January 31 deadline to phase out old notes in circulation in the country. Its president Ayuba Waba said this when speaking with newsmen yesterday on his achievements and challenges as Congress president for the past 8 years. Waba said that the directive of the Senate and the National Assembly seeking an extension of the deadline was appropriate, owing to the fact that majority of Nigerians who live in remote areas where banks do not exist were yet to access the new Naira notes. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, the ICPC, on Thursday rearrested former Registrar of the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAM, Professor Adedibu Ojeride. The spokesperson for ICPC, Mrs. Azuka Ogugwa, in a statement said that Ojeride was rearrested following a warrant issued by the Federal High Court, Abuja. He is expected to face a team of ICPC investigators over new evidence uncovered in relation to his ongoing trial for diversion of funds while he was serving as heads of two government agencies, the National Examination Council, NECO, and JAM. Ogugwa said that the rearrest of Ojeride was due to his refusal to honor the Commission's invitation extended to him in December 2022. The National President of Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, NATO, Alhaji Yusuf Lawal Uthman, has called for more support for NNPC Retail Limited to ensure the availability of the product across the country. NNPC Retail, a subsidiary of the National Oil Company, NNPC Limited, recently acquired downstream assets of OVH Energy, owners of Owando filling stations, making it the largest retail outlet owner in the country. Alhaji Uthman, who spoke to journalists on efforts to ease the the shortage of petrol, noted that across the country, NNPC stations were dispensing at the same price, unlike outlets owned by major and independent marketers. He therefore called for more support for the outfit to enable consumers to have access to petrol at government-approved price, pointing out that reports suggesting NNPC retail outlets were diverting petrol to black marketers were false. Moving on to the foreign scene, Angola has expressed concern over the use of heavy military equipment in the war in Ukraine as Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov visits the oil-rich southern African country. In a statement, the Angola Foreign Affairs Ministry said the use of increasingly sophisticated equipment might lead to a greater involvement of the different parties to the conflict and eventually lead to a third world war. The statement also highlighted Angola's historic friendship ties with Russia and its good cooperation ties with Ukraine. Angola initially abstained from condemning the Russian invasion of Ukraine, but in October last year, it voted in favor of a UN resolution condemning the annexation of Ukrainian territory by Russia. U.S. President Joe Biden is urging protests in Tennessee to remain peaceful as officials plan to release video of an arrest that led to a motorist's death. Local media reports that Memphis is on edge and police have stepped up patrols in the city center as they prepare for possible demonstrations. 5 Memphis police officers have been fired and are facing murder charges after 29-year-old Tyre Nichols died 3 days after a traffic stop on January 7. Nichols, a black man, was stopped by 5 police officers who are also black on his way home after taking photos of a sunset at a local park, an attorney for the family said. Officials say he was suspected of reckless driving. And now to business news. The equity market rebounded on Thursday as it recorded 0.9% gains following investors' interest in Tier 1 banking stocks. The market capitalization gained 84 billion naira to close at 28.733 trillion naira, while the benchmark all-share index increased by 53.31 points to close at 52,752.96. The upturn was impacted by gains recorded in medium and large capitalized stocks, which included Tier 1 banking, among which are Zenith Bank, Stanbic and Access Holdings. Finally, to sport news this morning. Super Falcons head coach Randy Waldrum has called up 23 players for next month's Revelation Cup tournament to be staged in Leon, Mexico City. Among them, Captain Onome Ebi, Spain-based forward Azizat Oshuala, and long-term number 1 goalkeeper Chiamaka Nadozie. Host Mexico, Nigeria, Costa Rica and Colombia are the participating teams at the tournament, scheduled for February 15th to 21st, and with the objective of preparing the contestants for the 9th FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. Nigeria will play their first game of the tournament against host Mexico starting at 10 p.m. on Wednesday, February 15.
Lagos Talks
91.3.